Hello, and welcome back to another video. It might have taken me 2 years to make new content aside from making joke videos, but what can I say? Life sucks. College is stressful. Probably heard that enough times, but I don't care. Although, now you can see me at all times with this snowflake background. Isn't that so wonderful?
I bet you love looking at me.
Anyway, as the title implies, I'll be going over some fantastic frontier weapons that I often see no one really talk about. I know a lot about this game, but sometimes I truly forget how many weapons are in it and how unique they are. So I want to give these weapons some spotlight. You might know a few of these, but hopefully you learned a little about at least one weapon. Now, I'll start off with... First off, we have Brain Staff. It is bought from the otherworldly weaponsmith in town Frightened Rung for 5 million gold. To put it simply, this thing is... weird. Just look at it. No, I mean it. Look at it! Looks aside, this thing is a solid weapon assuming you can work with it. It's one of the few mage weapons that has a sword-like attack, being a sweeping motion that does 500 base damage, taking 100% mage bonuses, and consuming 3 to 4 stamina. It swings quite fast though, but has short range. The only other weapon that strictly takes our magic bonuses but has a sword-like attack is Blade of the Throne. Its special, Brain Bash, delivers 3 overhead blows, each one being faster than the other one. Each of its hits deal 330 damage and take 100% mage bonus, consuming 3 stamina and has a 16-second cooldown. Brain Staff is tricky to use due to its relatively low range, but if used correctly, it can perform quite well and can be fun. Personally, I think it's a fun time and can be nice to spice things up, although it's not always preferred or viable when the other weapons like Sulfur Crystal Ultradagger are there that people tend to use a lot more. Regardless, if you want to try it out, then by all means, do it. I endorse it. Second off, we have Voidspike ultradagger. It is bought from the construct in Matamata for 10 million gold, and has a very unique function no other weapon in this game has. Basically, the less armor points you have, the special, that being Void Needle, will reach much further compared to if you had more armor points. This also applies to the damage Void Needle does, dealing 935 damage at base and losing 5.65 damage for each armor point you have. It also takes 100% melee bonuses, but is that even important considering how you're meant to use this thing? Oh, absolutely not, but I'm mentioning it anyway. And if you have an issue with that... Okay. Anyway, aside from that, its melee swing does 375 base damage and takes 100% melee bonuses. Unlike this special, its damage is not affected by your armor points. This is easily the worst of the ultradagger family, unfortunately, and it's understandable why. It's not favorable to have low defense in this game unless you're going glass cannon if you're one of those people. The other ultradaggers just have more use, because if you have this weapon of a normal armor set, it'll prove to just be completely useless due to having low range and low damage with Void Needle because you'll be using armor, obviously. You need to work with its niche. If you like to run around and roadblocks like I do, it's a pretty funny weapon to use. Although, you'd just be better off using armor and actually good weapons. This weapon suffers from carrying such a hard and bizarre niche with such minimal payoff due to all your other weapons pretty much doing nothing due to the lack of armor. What a sad fate. It's still funny though. Third off, we have Gunfists. It is bought from Manager Supreme for 8 million gold. It's a pair of guns in your fists, as you could guess. That doesn't stop it from being awesome though. Similarly to weapons like Blade of the Throne and Jade Twin, it has 2 attacking modes I can switch between using the ability. The default mode is a close-range shotgun attack that deals 420 damage, taking 100% range bonuses, and consuming 2.9 stamina. You cannot aim the shotgun blast and it will only hit things in front of you, even hitting through walls. The second mode turns it into a Gatling gun, allowing the user to rapidly fire long-range bullets. It is identical to how the Frontier Stargun fires, except that it takes slightly more stamina and doesn't have auto-fire. It deals 210 damage, taking 100% range bonuses, and consuming 1.8 stamina. The ability that allows you to switch between the modes has a 3-second cooldown, but that isn't very important. As I mentioned before, the Gatling mode is very often compared to the Frontier Stargun, and that weapon is the main reason people skip out on this. And to that I say, that's lame. Like, come on! Are you seriously gonna skip on having guns on your fists? It's one of the coolest ideas in the game! You feel awesome when you equip them, and justifiably so because the weapon itself is awesome. Cool factors aside, I actually do use Gunfists with range quite often. No other ranged weapon has this close range capability that Gunfists has. In fact, the shotgun damage is only 80 off from that of the Ratboy handgun, and the Gatling damage is only 50 off from Stargun. I also imagine that if you get Gunfists before Stargun, they would still be quite good considering it has the same fire rate as it. It's just more stamina costing. It has the advantage of the shotgun mode as well. Personally, I find this weapon very useful in my range sets and I actually utilize it quite a lot. People tend to use Gnome Rocket Launcher for range area damage, but I think Gunfist is a viable alternative for close combat when you don't want to go flying, and it's a viable early alternative for a weapon like Stargun, although it takes more effort to make the Gatling mode fire as fast as Stargun due to the lack of auto fire. It can be made easier with an auto clicker though. Even if you're not using the Gatling mode of Gunfist, I'd still recommend trying it out for its shotgun utility. It's my favorite ranged weapon to use. I don't really care if it's not as broken as the other range meta is. I think it's very enjoyable and that's what I tend to prioritize in games. I just wish people didn't skip over Gunfist as much as they do though. I've seen a ton of slander for it and it makes me upset. Or maybe they're just upset that Gunfists are a farm! Fourth off, we have the Dragon King's Lance. It is bought from the otherworldly weaponsmith from the town of Right and Wrong for 5 million gold, just like the brain staff we talked about earlier. Why isn't the script progressive? Oh dear god, I put that up instead! I mean, just taking a look at this thing, you would assume it's a melee weapon, right? It's a giant lance that you can prepare yourself forwards with, but it's actually a ranged weapon. Why? I have no idea. I didn't work on the game. Regardless, its normal attack is a rapier-based attack, swiftly launching and poking your enemies and dealing 500 base damage, taking 100% range bonuses and consuming 1 in 3 stamina. Its special, Dragon Charge, makes the user charge forward, having an animation pretty much identical to that of the Funky Driftlander. It does 900 base damage, takes 100% range bonuses, and consumes 2 to 3 stamina. This weapon is very weird and stands out a lot amongst its ranged peers. The only other weapon that functions like a melee that takes ranged bonuses is the Jade Twin, and that's a very long reach for a melee-like weapon, also having the advantage of not taking any ammo at all. The thing is though, when would you need this? I mean, I could think of funny scenarios, but if we're just speaking viable range builds, I don't know where to fit in really. It could be pretty good if you get it early on though. This weapon looks pretty cool, stands out from its other ranged peers, but that's all really. I haven't seen anyone unironically run this if they have better options or really go for it. But hey, if you're not one Dragon King's Lance fan, prove me wrong in the comments. Preach to me about how great it actually is! Or don't. I personally find this weapon pretty funny and cool. Give it a shot if you want to. It makes range feel really weird honestly, which could be nice considering the class doesn't really have that many options. Friendly reminder, you can always close your browser and not subscribe at any time because I hate you! Our final weapon for this video is none other than the Jade superhammer. It is bought from the otherworldly weaponsmith for the title Right and Wrong for 3 million gold. You know, I realize, why are there like 3 weapons in this video from this guy? Poor guy. Don't worry, I'll always appreciate you, otherworldly weaponsmith. Anyways, as you can guess, this is a hammer weapon, who would have guessed? Although, some of you might recognize this kind of weapon, you need to be correct, because this behaves the same as the Inferno Hammer from Magma Brain, a trap a lot of players usually get early on, so if you remember how that weapon functions, this should be pretty familiar to you. Its normal attack is a firm slam into the ground, dealing 456 base damage, taking 100% melee bonuses, and consuming 3.5 stamina. Unlike most other melee weapons, you are unable to move while doing this attack, only being pushed forward by the hammer itself. Its special, Charge Slam, is yet another firm slam into the ground, but this one is far more powerful and impactful, and it makes you feel awesome. It deals 660 base damage, taking 200% melee bonuses, and consuming 4.5 stamina. You are also unable to move while doing this. Can I be honest with you guys? I've been lying to you this whole time. I know! How horrible of me! I haven't even told you why this weapon is so unique, along with every other hammer type weapon. It takes 1.4 times melee bonuses. What does that mean exactly? Well, if you currently have 300 melee bonus, that will be multiplied to 420, making your hammer deal more damage than usual compared to your other melee weapons. If you have an even higher bonus, like say 615, which I believe is the highest melee bonus you can give without buffs, that bonus turns into an absolutely whopping 861. Yeah, the damage this thing could do is crazy, even out-damaging Frontier Greatsword. Hearing this, you might be wondering why people don't use this that often, and unfortunately, there are quite a few reasons. As I mentioned before, while you are swinging your hammer, you are completely unable to move. This is a pretty big issue. If you swing your hammer and enemies get close to you, all you can do is jump to avoid damage. This thing also costs quite a bit of stamina to keep going, so you'll need a good amount of endurance. The same issues also apply to its special attack. With all of that being said though, this thing is far from unusable. You just have to learn to work with it. It's great for enemies who stay still a lot like Teacuddle Tony, as you being unable to move isn't nearly as bad with them. Overall, this is by far the hardest melee weapon to use due to flaws I mentioned previously, but if you make it work, oh trust me, it works! The damage this thing can do per hit is almost unparalleled. Most basic attacks in this game can't even dream of getting that much damage. Well, that's the video. I know it took a really long time, and I apologize for that. I truly still do love this game a lot, and I think about it regularly. My love for it hasn't died or anything. Life has just sucked. I know I said that in the intro, but I really do mean it. College is a nightmare. I wish to upload more videos soon enough though, but I can't promise a release date or an estimate, it'll just come when it comes. Thanks for watching, it really does mean a lot. I hope you have a good day.